Have your legs been cramping more than usual lately? Do they feel tired even after just a short walk to the kitchen? Do you wake up at night to that tight, painful spasm in your calves that makes you sit up and gasp? If you're over 60, you might be thinking, it's just age, just poor circulation, just normal. But what if I told you the real cause might be sitting quietly in your medicine cabinet? And what if I told you that 2 vitamins, which millions of seniors are taking daily, are silently damaging your leg muscles, depleting your strength, and making your joints stiffer with each passing month? Yes, vitamins, not toxins, not sugar, not even processed food, vitamins. The very pills you trust to protect your bones and help you age well could be the hidden reason your legs are getting weaker. Your balance is failing, and your independence is slowly slipping away. That's not fear-mongering. That's what I see, week after week, in real people who come into my clinic, confused, frustrated, and exhausted from a kind of pain that doesn't make sense. And nearly every time, I ask them one question: what supplements are you taking every day? The answer almost always includes the same 2 names. You don't hear about this on TV. You won't see warning labels on the bottles. But after working with thousands of older adults over the past 3 decades, I've seen the pattern too many times to ignore. This is the moment we need to talk about it, because those muscle cramps aren't random. That fatigue isn't just part of aging. And the way your legs feel today could be the early warning of something preventable. So let's begin. Before you take another dose tomorrow morning, you need to hear what I'm about to share. That morning, Judith came to see me with a face full of worry. She's 68. She's always been healthy, sharp, and careful. Never missed a checkup, never skipped her vitamins. But she looked at me and said something I'll never forget. "Doctor, I feel like my legs are failing me. I take everything they say I should, calcium, D3, multivitamins. But every time I walk down the stairs, I get this strange burning sensation in my thighs. And at night, the cramps wake me up screaming." She looked down at her knees. "I'm scared to go outside alone now. What if I fall?" Her tests came back normal. Blood pressure was fine, blood sugar controlled, her diet better than most, but one detail changed everything. 2 supplements she had been taking daily, without question, without medical guidance, were slowly disrupting her mineral balance, weakening her muscles, and causing small but compounding damage to her joints and circulation. The kind that creeps in quietly, day after day, until suddenly, walking becomes difficult, and Judith is not alone. In fact, recent studies from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that up to 30% of older adults may be over-supplementing with fat-soluble vitamins, and most of them don't even realize it. These vitamins don't leave the body quickly. They build up. They accumulate in the liver, in the joints, in the soft tissues, especially in places like your knees, hips, and calves. What starts as a good habit becomes a slow sabotage. But no one told us that, did they? Because for years we were taught, if it's a vitamin, it must be good. Take more, and you'll be even healthier. That's the myth we're breaking today. So here's what I'll walk you through in this video. First, I'll reveal the 2 specific vitamins that, when taken in excess, have been linked to muscle stiffness, leg cramps, coordination issues, and even accelerated loss of mobility after 60. Second, I'll explain the science behind the damage, how these supplements interfere with calcium balance, nerve conduction, and muscle contraction. Third, I'll give you practical steps to reverse the damage, starting with what to stop, what to replace, and how to talk with your doctor about safer, smarter alternatives. This video is not about fear, it's about freedom, because when you understand what's really happening inside your body, you regain control. And with the right knowledge, your next walk could feel lighter, your steps more stable, your nights free of cramps, your mornings stronger. Before we dive into the first vitamin, I want to ask you something personal. Do you take vitamins every morning without thinking? Do you believe more is always better, especially when it comes to natural supplements? And have you felt any of the following lately? Unexplained leg weakness, tightness in your calves, balance issues, or waking up sore for no clear reason? If the answer is yes, then this may be the most important health message you hear this year. Now, let's uncover the first silent culprit. And let's begin with the one that almost every senior I know takes, believing it protects their bones, but might actually be harming their legs. Ready? Let's talk about vitamin A. Vitamin A, the hidden threat behind leg pain and weakness. Judith was shocked when I pointed to the small orange bottle in her hand. Vitamin A? But it's just for my eyes, she said. And yes, in small, natural amounts, vitamin A is essential. It supports vision, immunity, even skin repair. But what most seniors don't realize is this. After 60, your body no longer handles vitamin A the way it used to. It doesn't flush out the excess quickly. It stores it deep in the liver, in the joints, and sometimes even in your bones. And over time, that quiet accumulation starts to show up, right where it hurts most, in the legs. Let's break it down. Vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin. That means your body stores it, unlike vitamin C or B complex, which get eliminated through urine when there's too much. Once you build up excess vitamin A, it begins interfering with other minerals, most critically, magnesium and calcium. Magnesium helps your muscles relax. Calcium helps them contract. The delicate dance between them is what makes walking, standing, and climbing stairs feel effortless. But with too much vitamin A in the system, this balance is thrown off. Muscles stiffen. Cramping begins. You feel like your legs are working harder just to do simple things. Judith described this perfectly. A subtle heaviness in her thighs when she got up from a chair. A pulling sensation in her calves after just 10 minutes of walking. She thought it was aging, but the truth was, her muscles were under siege. Even more concerning, excess vitamin A also leads to bone demineralization, especially in the hips and lower limbs. Over time, it weakens the very frame your muscles are trying to move. That stiffness in your knees, that crackling sound when you squat, that's not just age. It might be damage quietly driven by vitamin overload. Now here's something even more surprising. You may not even know you're getting too much, because vitamin A is hidden in many common multivitamins, fish oil supplements, liver capsules, and fortified foods like milk, cereal, and margarine. And when you add a separate high-dose supplement on top, you're flooding your system daily with far more than your body needs, or can safely store. One study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults taking high doses of vitamin A were significantly more likely to report joint pain, back stiffness, and muscle fatigue, particularly in the lower body. The symptoms were vague, hard to trace, but very real. So how do you know if this is affecting you? Look for the early signs. Muscle aches that don't go away even after rest. Frequent night cramps in your calves or feet. A sense of fatigue that settles deep into your thighs after light activity. And perhaps most telling, difficulty rising from a chair or getting up off the floor, even though you haven't changed your lifestyle. Judith had them all. We reduced her vitamin A intake, removed the multivitamin that had triple the recommended dose, rebalanced her minerals with food-first sources, leafy greens, seeds, eggs, and a little sunlight. And within weeks, she noticed a change. I still get tired, she said, but now I can walk to the mailbox without that dragging weight in my legs. That's the power of correction. Not perfection, just adjustment. Now, let me be clear. Vitamin A is not evil. In fact, it's critical for your health. But too much of a good thing, especially in pill form, can quietly undo the strength your body's trying to preserve. So here's what I recommend. Do not take vitamin A supplements unless your doctor has specifically tested your levels and recommended it. Instead, get your vitamin A naturally through foods like carrots, pumpkin, sweet potatoes, egg yolks, and leafy greens. Your body converts the beta-carotene in these foods into the exact amount of vitamin A it needs, no more, no less. This protects your vision, your immunity, and most importantly, your muscles. Because the older we get, the less room we have for silent mistakes. Now, if you think that's surprising, wait until you hear about the second vitamin, even more popular, even more hyped, that's causing cramps, burning sensations, and even kidney strain in thousands of older adults. It's one that nearly every senior is told to take for their bones. And yet, when taken without guidance, it might be doing the opposite. Let's talk about vitamin D. Vitamin D, the dangerous overdose. Seniors never suspect the second bottle Judith placed on my desk was even more common than the first. Vitamin D, she said, almost proudly. Everyone says I should take it. I've been taking 5,000 units every morning for the past year. I nodded slowly. It's what most seniors are told, isn't it? That vitamin D is crucial for strong bones, for immunity, for healthy aging, and in the right amount, that's true. But here's what no one is warning people over 60 about. Too much vitamin D doesn't just stop helping, it starts hurting. It begins silently, with no obvious signs. And then one morning, you wake up and your legs feel tight. You notice that your balance isn't what it used to be. You feel burning sensations, strange stiffness in your thighs, or cramps that don't go away with stretching. That's not coincidence. That's the quiet side effect of vitamin D overload, a condition known as hypervitaminosis D, and it's far more common now than it was just a decade ago because of unmonitored supplementation. Let me explain how it happens. Vitamin D is also fat-soluble, like vitamin A. That means your body stores it, not flushes it out. And when you take it in high doses over long periods, it builds up in your fatty tissues and liver. This causes your blood calcium levels to rise, a condition called hypercalcemia. At first, you don't feel it, but as calcium accumulates, your muscles begin to stiffen, your joints ache, and your nerves misfire. The electrical signals that tell your legs to move smoothly, they begin to short circuit. That's when people feel strange buzzing sensations, loss of coordination, or sudden leg weakness when walking or standing. And it doesn't stop there. Excess vitamin D can also calcify soft tissues, including muscles, tendons, and blood vessels. I've seen patients develop tightness in their knees, pain in their calves, and a strange, locked feeling in their thighs, all because they were unknowingly taking too much of a vitamin meant to help them. One woman told me, "It feels like my legs don't respond the way they used to. They're slower, heavier, like I'm dragging bags of sand." And that's exactly what it looks like on the inside. Muscles weighed down by calcified tissues, tight blood vessels, and nerves struggling to keep up. To make matters worse, excess vitamin D can strain the kidneys, especially in older adults. The kidneys are responsible for filtering out excess calcium and maintaining mineral balance. But when vitamin D levels are too high, the kidneys become overwhelmed. That can lead to fluid retention, muscle cramps, swollen legs, and even long-term damage to kidney function. Think about this. You're taking a vitamin to stay strong, but instead, it's increasing your risk of falls. It's making your legs unstable. It's triggering nighttime cramps and morning fatigue. And most dangerously, it's doing it slowly, invisibly, without any warning signs on the bottle. So how do you know if this is happening to you? If you're taking vitamin D without blood testing, and especially if your dose is over 2,000 IU per day, it's time to pause. Talk to your doctor. Ask for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. That's the only way to know your actual levels. And remember this, more is not better. Safe is better. Balanced is stronger. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't take vitamin D. For many older adults, especially those with limited sun exposure, it's an important supplement, but it needs to be personalized, guided, measured. What worked for your neighbor might harm you. What helped your cousin might weaken your legs. Judith's levels came back sky high. We stopped all supplements immediately, gave her time to let her body reset. Within a month, her cramps eased. Her legs felt steadier. Her coordination improved. "I never would have guessed it was the vitamin," she said. "Most people wouldn't, because the labels don't warn you. The internet keeps praising it, and the fear of osteoporosis makes us believe we need as much as we can get. But the truth is, too much vitamin D can rob you of the very strength it promises to protect. So please, if you're taking vitamin D right now without regular blood tests, talk to your doctor. Check your dose. Look at how you feel, not just what the label says. Because your legs are your freedom, your movement, your independence, and no supplement, no matter how natural, should take that away from you. Coming up, I'll show you the exact daily mistakes that are multiplying the effects of these two vitamins. Yes, the vitamins matter, but so does the food you're eating with them, the drinks you're combining them with, and the way your body is metabolizing all of it. There's more to this picture. And when you see it, you'll understand exactly how to take back control. Let's keep going. The daily habits that make these vitamins even more dangerous. When we think of vitamins causing harm, we often imagine the pill itself is the sole problem. But the truth is more layered. Sometimes it's not just what you take, it's how you live with it. Let me explain. After I adjusted Judith's supplements and ran her lab tests, I thought we'd found the root of her leg pain. But 2 weeks later, she called again. "The cramps are better," she said, "but some days I still feel so stiff, like I'm wading through wet concrete." That's when I asked her about her meals, what she was eating, what time, what she drank, how often she moved, and that's where the real picture became clear. Because vitamins don't act alone. They interact with your food, your metabolism, your organs, and, most importantly, your daily choices. And when those choices are off balance, even a safe dose of vitamin A or D can become harmful. Here are 3 daily habits I uncovered in Judith's routine and in the lives of hundreds of older adults I've treated that quietly intensify the damage that these two vitamins can cause. The first is a high-fat, low-fiber breakfast. Judith's morning meal was simple: 2 slices of white toast with butter, a fried egg, and a glass of milk. It sounded innocent, but it was exactly the kind of meal that encourages fat-soluble vitamins, like A and D, to absorb in larger quantities and linger longer in the body. Without fiber, there's nothing to help eliminate the excess. Without hydration, the kidneys have to work harder. And when you repeat this meal every morning, you set up a perfect environment for vitamin buildup, especially in the liver, joints, and soft tissues. The second habit? Lack of movement between meals. Most seniors I know eat, sit, and then sit some more. Not out of laziness, but out of routine. Reading the paper, watching TV, answering messages on the phone. It all adds up to hours of stillness. But here's the problem. Movement is what helps circulate minerals, flush excess calcium, and stimulate muscle repair. Without it, the body becomes stagnant. Calcium settles. Inflammation lingers. Muscles don't get the message to stay active. And this makes leg weakness more pronounced, even if your supplements are technically within range. When Judith started doing gentle stretches after breakfast, just 5 minutes in the garden, walking slowly or rotating her ankles, she felt less stiffness within days. The third and perhaps most damaging habit, pairing vitamins with inflammatory foods. Judith had a sweet tooth. Mid-morning, she'd often enjoy a slice of cake or a cookie with her tea. The problem wasn't the sugar alone. It was what sugar does when combined with excess vitamin A and D. Sugar triggers inflammation. Inflammation weakens blood flow. Weak blood flow disrupts oxygen and nutrient delivery. And when that happens, the already compromised muscles from vitamin overload get even weaker, even more irritable. Your legs, they start to rebel, with cramps, with burning, with fatigue that shows up faster than it should. And here's where it all comes together. You're taking vitamins to stay strong, But your meals, your stillness, your snacks, they're sabotaging the very strength you're trying to protect. That's not your fault. You weren't told. No one explained that vitamin D and vitamin A amplify their effects when taken with high-fat meals, sugary snacks, and poor circulation. But now that you know, you can change it. Judith didn't need to overhaul her entire life. She just made small, mindful shifts. She switched her white toast for oats with berries and flaxseed. She added gentle movement into her mornings before her supplements. She cut back on refined sugar and added a handful of walnuts or a boiled egg instead. And most importantly, she started listening to her body. Because your body speaks long before it breaks down, it whispers through soreness. It hums through stiffness. It tells you, in the quiet language of discomfort, something needs to shift. Now, Wasa, before we close, I want to show you something empowering. There's one final lesson that ties all of this together. The vitamins, the food, the movement, the feeling of getting older but not weaker. Because the truth is, you can rebuild your strength. You can reverse the cramping, the burning, the instability. You can choose to stop what's harming you and start what restores you. And in this final session, I'll show you how. Reclaiming strength after 60. The truth no one told you when Judith walked into my office 3 months later, something had changed. She wasn't holding her lower back. She wasn't massaging her knees. She wasn't cautious or slow or stiff. She walked with a quiet confidence and shoulders relaxed, steps steady, eyes bright. I just walked to the park and back, she smiled. Without stopping, without pain. I smiled back. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a magic pill. It was simply knowledge. And the courage to act on it. Too often, we're told that aging means decline, that weakness is inevitable, that leg pain, cramps, and stiffness are just the price of getting older. But that's only half the story. Because what we're rarely told is that so much of what we feel after 60 isn't aging. It's accumulation of habits, of choices, of small, silent mistakes we make without even realizing. A vitamin taken for years without testing, a sweet treat paired with the wrong supplement, a well-intentioned routine that was never designed for your unique, changing body. And yet, when you bring awareness into those routines, when you pause, reflect, and adjust, your body responds. At 65, at 70, even at 85, because the body never forgets how to heal. Your muscles remember movement, your bones respond to care, your circulation improves with every step in the right direction. And that's the real truth no one told you. You are not too old, you are not too late. And your legs are not beyond saving. Every day you choose differently. You reclaim a little more strength, a little more balance, a little more independence. So today, ask yourself, are you taking vitamins that may no longer serve you? Are you moving in ways that nourish your muscles? Are you listening to the quiet signs your body's trying to send? Because it's never been about perfection. It's about awareness and choice. And if this video gave you even one new insight, one new question to ask your doctor, one small shift to make it breakfast tomorrow, then I hope you'll share it with someone else who needs it. Maybe a friend who's been waking up stiff. Maybe a spouse who's struggling with leg pain. Maybe your own children, so they understand that strength after 60 isn't lost. It's simply waiting to be rebuilt from the inside out. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Every week, we bring you practical wisdom, gentle truth, and powerful tools to help you live longer, move stronger, and feel more alive. You don't have to do it alone. We're walking this road with you, one careful, informed, and hopeful step at a time. Until next time, take care of your body. It's still listening, and it's still capable of amazing things.